I'm Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or an extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, I don't know why I tried to do this, and by way of explanation, tells her life story. I'm starting to get edits back on book two, so we're back in book two. Previously, in Do the Wrong Thing, Ava had a C in math. She needed a B to get into university, and she was border woman. This continues on from that piece, from a chapter called A Changing Landscape. West Corinth is going to ask you to prom, Kathy tells me. Wes, though not top tier, is attractive, smart, and friendly. A good catch, appropriate even. But Jenny Hendricks becomes available, and he asks her. Ivan Kruk asks me. Okay, wait, I want to add that I went to prom the year before in grade 12, too. I only remember it because my mom mentioned it the last time I saw her a few months ago. You went with Finn Harvey, she said. He's a garbage man now. Her words feel like a punch to the stomach. She doesn't mean to, I remind myself. When I was in my mid-30s, about a half year before I tried to kill myself, she told me, my life is better than yours. I'd called her because I was obsessed with a man I couldn't speak to, convinced I was in love with him, but terrified of what might happen if I was. I am better than you, she had continued. Love. The word itself is like a sticky syrup at the back of my throat, clogging my air passages. Ooh. After that phone call, I resolved to share nothing with her except niceties and the weather. I haven't. The rare times I do slip up, she quickly sets me straight. I watch myself be Ivan's girlfriend. Sometimes I can get into it. It's cool that talking to me makes him happy. Liz and Kathy respect him. He's earned any joy he feels around me. Liz is dating Rick from Catholic school. She became obsessed with him in grade 11, and I interceded on her behalf. Rick was reticent at first, but she's got him now. Kathy is dating a bad boy. I barely know him. The bad boy and I nod at each other in the halls, but at dances, if we sit beside each other, there's dead silence between us. My protest is automatic, but for those seconds I'm in the air, before I hit the water, with everyone looking at me and whooping, I'm lucky. It's like I'm the star of a movie. Everyone is looking at me. Ivan laughs as I catch his gaze. I suppose he couldn't hide how much he liked me if he tried. Ah! I scream as the water's coldness jolts my system. My long Indian cotton skirt pulls me down. I'm not wearing traditional prom clothes. Screw tradition and screw spending money on something you'll never wear again. My pink skirt with its bells on the waist tie and its matching ivory cotton camisole. I could wear them to school on Monday. Maybe I will. I've already been wearing my leather thong sandals to school. Mr. Sexton would approve of these clothes. As I surface, I worry about my hair, then remember, I don't care. Everyone laughs as Ivan and his best friend, Tanaka, pull me out of the pool. I can't stop smiling, overwhelmed by the attention. I expect all the girls are jealous. I'd be. A slight breeze pushes the hair on my arms up, but inside I feel an aftersense of warm. I worry that my nipples will show through the wet camisole, then again remember, I don't care. Mike Clausen, whose house we're at, brings me a towel. We are no longer in the laziness of night. It was an unusual evening, partly because it's 6 a.m. and none of us are home. Is this our first night as adults? There hasn't been much gossip or even talk among us. Even Tanaka, who never shuts up, is relatively quiet. Tanaka is Ivan's best friend. He's not Japanese. His parents merely liked the name, he says. Tanaka could be a model. If he didn't talk as much as he did, he'd be popular, but he goes on and on. I don't even know what he says. I tune him out so thoroughly. Government conspiracies, stuff like that. Ivan and he both like obscure punk bands. That's the glue that holds them together. I love looking at Tanaka. If Elizabeth Taylor had been a guy, she'd look like him. Dark blue eyes, pale skin, 6 feet tall, slim, wide-shouldered, and crowned with thick, wavy blue-black hair. Tanaka is going to military college. I'm the only girl who got thrown in the pool. Hands in the sink, smelling the sharp, sweet detergent mixing with the flattish orange grease that's rimming its bubbles. I can't tune my mother out. Just divorce him then, I interrupt. She breathes in sharply and snaps. The church forbids divorce. I'd go live with him and be done with you, I think. Divorce him. Mom glances at Sandra, who keeps her eyes down. She looks back at me, but I focus on the hamburger congealed on a plate. She stalks off. Mom and I are pitched in a battle I cannot stop. I didn't choose to grow up. I didn't choose to be my father's favorite, to look and act like her. I didn't choose any of it. I believe in God. I believe in my mother. Therefore, I am selfish, greedy, and unconcerned with anyone but myself. There's no denying that Mom is good. She goes to church every Sunday and makes us pray 4 times a day. But then, because I try not to be selfish, greedy, and unconcerned with anyone but myself, but am anyway, an escape floats inside of me. A spike of joy, something I do without effort, something relatively easy, foreign. It's a bubble floating in ether, clouds inside. How do I get inside that bubble? How do I become a cloud? I'm big, fat, corporeal. Yet I believe in Mr. Sexton. The bubble knocks against the edges of my consciousness. I tiptoe around my mother, try to avoid her, as does the whole family. I don't think she has any control over this battle either. An evil person like me should kill themselves, I think. The bubble hits my consciousness again. I could listen to Mr. Sexton, change my major to English. I could go away to university and communicate solely through written words. I could live in libraries, have no friends, protect other people from me. As I drift away from Liz and Kathy, I hang out with Regina, who I'll be working with in the summer, like last year, as a day camp counselor at the Dardanelle Park. Regina still loves John Lennon and all things 60s. She's added marijuana to the inventory since grade 6. I listen to Led Zeppelin and Buddy Guy as loudly as possible when my mom's in the barn. I read about the occult. I read Aleister Crowley, and I get stoned with Regina.